Welcome back, guys, to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra review. Today, we have the leaked reveal now, which was the Gamma 1 and 2 that was revealed in the Android 17 trailer. We now have their official trailer out, which means there's only one more character left for the initial roster to be revealed, which we do not currently know. But at the time of recording this, we have about 5 days to go until Gekishin Squadra is officially released. So we should be seeing that new reveal between the next 2 to 3 days. With that being said, let's take a look at the Gammas and see what they can do. Alright, we had a technical difficulty, so we're going to go ahead and do this now. Alright, we are in the Japanese trailer, so we'll go ahead and switch over to the English one in a bit. But Gammas right there looks like, so they are a tag unit, and you can switch between the two of them. Gamma 2 looks like the melee version, whereas Gamma 1 is the range version, which kind of fits in with how they were as well. That is insane. Okay. Okay. They look very cool. They do look very cool. Very aesthetically pleasing for sure. Let's go ahead and pull up the English Twitter. That way we can actually read. And for Gamma 1 and 2, their concept is a superhero tag team, with Gamma 1 specializing in large-scale brawls and Gamma 2 in small-scale skirmishes. Join forces with special pose and vanquish evil using combination attacks. Definitely interesting. So they are the first tag unit on the whole roster. And their passive is Gamma Switch, allows Gamma 1 and 2 to swap in battle. The key thing here is that each Gamma will have their own HP, because that is essentially putting 2 HP bars on one character that could be very strong in laning, as well as just in the middle of the fight. Each Gamma has their own base HP, rush attack, and movement speed, so the one will be faster at getting delayed than the other, and then rush attack, obviously we saw that the Gamma 1 has like a ranged one, whereas Gamma 2 is a melee one. The two will swap when certain skills are used or when their base HP reaches 0, and when on standby with 0 base HP, Gamma 1 or 2 can be revived by performing special pose or healing them at the spawn point. So we don't know what special pose is currently. I am a little sick still. We don't know what special pose is currently, but we will figure that out as we go. It's probably one of their abilities. So there is Gamma 1 falling to the ground, and he swaps out to Gamma 2 when he does reach the 0 HP bar. Now, Gamma 1's rush attack is a blast using a ray gun. A third consecutive attack will be powered up, and the Gamma on standby will follow up with a ray gun attack and deal additional damage. More damage is dealt when special poses in effect. So right here, that's just them firing, and then that's Gamma 2 coming in with the assist. Gamma 2 is the one with a physical rush attack, and the third attack will be powered up, and the Gamma on standby will follow up with a ray gun attack that deals additional damage. More damage while special poses in effect. There, that's after the third rush attack hits, the other Gamma comes in to support. Now, Gamma 2's skill is Gamma Strike. As Gamma 2 dash forward and deliver a strike, the skill can be reactivated immediately after use. If a third hit lands, it explodes and does additional damage. It cannot be activated when Gamma 2's base HP is 0. While under the effects of special pose, you gain additional HP upon activation and when the strike hits. So that's what those 3 hits are there. And then this is with special pose, the 1, 2, and the 3. And remember, those are also giving them extra HP. Then they have Gamma Impact, which is as Gamma 1, you can deal a flying kick that causes a shockwave, gains extra HP upon activation. And when the shockwave hits, creates an explosion after the shockwave deals more damage at level 3 super. Cannot be active when Gamma 1's base HP is 0, and more damage is dealt with special poses in effect. So, the key thing to keep in mind here too is they don't have like 2 separate kits. They have one kit, but depending on which one you use, that will bring either Gamma 2 or Gamma 1 out. So if you use skill 1, that will change you to Gamma 2. So you never want to be using skill 1 if you're already on Gamma 2 unless you can not want to switch. So if you're kind of low HP, you usually want to go to switch to skill 2 so that you can switch out to Gamma 1. And that's what Gamma 1 skill looks like right there. Now, skill 3 is Gamma Blaster / Full Burst. Use a ray gun to fire scatter shots in a set direction, can move or redirect while attacking. More damage is dealt while fighting, or special pose is in effect. And then the Full Burst is when they're both there with special pose. Now, this is their first sweeper attack, which is special pose, which is the key thing that we've been seeing throughout. Creates a surrounding explosion that staggers enemies while striking a hero pose. heals HP when activated, allows Gamma 1 and 2 to work in tandem for a set period so they can work together, combines their HP stats into one, transforms their rush attack and skills, super attacks excluded, into combination attacks, and can activate Core Breaker at level 3 super. So if you guys remember Core Breaker, that's obviously the one where Gamma 2 sacrifices himself, which is right here. This is Core Breaker. So after you can choose a set position, and then Gamma 2 will come in and do that. Now the interesting thing about this is that it does say it can be activated once per battle. So I don't know if that means once per like skirmish in game, or if that's once per game, period. We'll have to test that once we get in, but I'd assume it's just once per battle, because obviously then to have revive Gamma 2, you would have to ult again or go heal, so that's why you're not able to use it multiple times. But it probably is going to be a pretty strong attack, kind of similar to Spirit Bomb, probably do a lot more damage because you are using it, but we'll see how that does go ahead. And then you do go to Gamma 1 after that, and you won't be able to use the skills from Gamma 2. That is essentially all their kit. But because of how complicated they are, we're going to probably go back and take a double look at this. So the key strategy with them is you want to use your skills effectively to swap between Gamma 1 and 2, managing each of their rush attacks and each of their HP. If you're playing from long range, you want to make sure you're in Gamma 2. If you're starting to get in close range, you want to pop your skill 1 so you can swap it to Gamma 2 and not be in Gamma 1. If you're long range, you want to be Gamma 1. If you're short range, you want to be Gamma 2. That's kind of just how they play at a simplistic point of view, is you want to only use skill 1 if you're close range and skill 2 if you're playing long range. The other thing is too, if you're Gamma 2 and you're close range, you're starting to get low HP, you want to pop skill 2 so you can swap over to Gamma 1, and then you can also get not only the HP, then you can start playing ranged. The thing that's weird though is skill 3, the Gamma Blaster / Full Burst. It seems like this is a Gamma 1 only skill, but it doesn't specify either or, which is really weird. Because the Full Burst is this is when you can do both of them. Because this skill I don't believe is able to be used by Gamma 2, but it doesn't really specify either one. So I'm assuming that if you're using this with Gamma 2, he'll just do the same thing as Gamma 1's doing in the first clip, but instead of him, it'll be obviously Gamma 2's Blue Blasts, which, I mean, it's good. It gives range option to Gamma 2 as well, so he's not completely focused on being just that. You could use this as a disengage tool. As you're after you do your Gamma 2 combo, you're disengaging, you pop this, you can use this to kind of back up because you can't move and redirect this while you're using this in attack as well. But that is pretty much it for the Gammas. They do look very, very good. But I would say they're probably the most tame in terms of the roster that we've got for the final 5 characters here. I feel like the other 3 that we've seen have kind of presented like insane abilities. Whereas these guys, it's like, yeah, they are a tag unit, but they don't, it's not like they have 2 kits in one really. They kind of just have one kit, but they kind of work with each other to a degree. It doesn't really feel like it's 2 separate kits. Usually when you have like 2 separate kits, each character has their own separate abilities. But in this case, it's like Gamma 2 has 2 abilities, Gamma 1 has 2 abilities, and they have one ability where they use that ability to switch between the 2, you know? But all in all, they do still look very good. We'll definitely be testing it out. I think they're going to be a very high skill cap character because you have to really utilize the ranged and melee kind of combination with them. But if you're able to master that, I think they will be very rewarding because they do have the 2 HP bars. That is the main thing, is that each of the 2 Gammas have their own separate HP bars, as we see in the Gamma switch right here. That, I think, is the big thing that will make them very good, is having 2 HP bars in one character. But again, that goes back to what kind of stats we're looking at for them. Are they going to have the equivalent of 1 full health bar per character, or are they going to have reduced HP to make up for the fact that they're multiple characters, kind of what they did with Frieza? But let me know what your thoughts on that are in the comment section below. Other than that, there's one other thing I wanted to touch on. We did hit 3 million paid registrations, so everybody will be getting Son Goku Mini when the game comes out on the 9th, and you guys will be able to play him immediately. With that being said, that is everything. This is Kaizer, waiting for that last character to be out.